the show tonight. It is Friday. Like we said, it's going to be a Friday guy day around these parts. As it's, yeah, exactly. Because when you think the manliest duo on TV, it's us two.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what was that?
Just like, showing off on my hard work of the week.
All right, so we got two guys here. Troy Presswood has been on the show before. He is back in the house. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Jim. It's been 84 years.
All of a sudden, you're like the old lady from the Titanic.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy's a newbie. This is Christopher Johnson. These guys both work in politics. Chris has joined me many times in the Final Five, and I said, you know what? Let's put you to work on this show tonight.
It's going to be much different.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart, so, maybe joking around a little bit, I'll be
You're in good company, Chris.
Yeah, definitely.
That's called lowering expectations very early. So
always.
Yeah. So glad to have you both here tonight. Glad to have all you at home. So let's fire it up and get going.
What about me, though?
I'm content with you being here. We begin with sex scenes in movies. Hollywood seems to be moving away from them. A new study shows between the years of 2000 and 2023, the number of movies that included a sex scene dropped by 40%. During that same period of time, the amount of violence, drug use, and profanities in movies actually increased slightly. So, Kenneth, care to venture a guess why?
Let's talk about sex, baby. You know what? I'm thinking about how I feel like Hollywood probably is a little over-sexualized, just a touch. So I actually am okay with the fact that if they're taking sex out of the movies, because I think it actually is here's the reason. It can get awkward sitting next to your mom. Trauma here. While there's a steamy sex scene like this one happening, do you make eye contact? Do you not say anything? You stay silent? You wait for it to be over? So it's just like real life sex. But no, this is basically Hollywood just taking a step back, saying maybe all those sex scenes get a little icky, it's a little too much, and we need to scale it back because we can do more than just talk about sex or show sex and do sex and be sex.
Do sex. Okay, so here's the thing. You're the only parent on the panel here, but your kid just turned 1, so you got a long way off.
Godson, hey.
Godsons matter
But
too.
how do you? Entertainment it's a much different realm than it was when we were growing up.
Yeah, as the sort of resident weirdo evangelical here, seeing people take on my bizarre puritanical views on this stuff for totally different reasons is kind of a strange phenomenon. But Gen Z seems to be weirdly, uncomfortable with this stuff. They want more of the love story. They want more of the, broader, more nuanced experience in relationships or whatever. It's probably not for the same reasons that I like that stuff, but if they're going to come around to my position regardless, and, people might call it puritanical or weird or whatever, but, I'll take that mantle all day, every day.
Well, as someone who grew up on Cinemax,
Cinemax.
I can tell you that, so I agree with you, Kenneth. I think, people today are just like, listen, we don't want to see all of that steamy, racy stuff on the big screen because you have a big screen at home now, or a little screen, and so you can watch it all in your house without having to be next door or next to someone who you don't know, eating popcorn, watching something up on a big screen. But Hollywood is going to Hollywood.
Where are we getting this video from, by the way?
Okay, that's definitely Cinemax. I've seen that on Cinemax before.
Who's looking up the stock footage for this stuff? They've got a really fun job.
Yeah,
that's some raw stuff.
There's
right
this creeper
man.
guy who produces this show by the name of Corey.
Corey, you're on notice.
I will say this: like we've gotten to a point. And Corey and I were talking about game shows of all things, and there's a thing about the game shows in the '70s where they were all about the double entendres. So you couldn't say the things that you wanted to say, but it was much funnier because you were just being coy about it.
Yeah.
And we've sort of lost that filter in society where we just put it all out there, and maybe this is pulling it back a little bit.
You're talking about Family Feud, right?
Oh my God!
Except for the host used to kiss like the contestant in the mouth, so that's pretty much like a sex scene on TV.
And that's how he met his wife.
We're talking about like
Richard
the original,
Dawson. Richard Dawson. That's how he met his wife. She was a contestant on the show.
Oh my gosh.
But like Password, like all of those, really old game shows. I mean, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Betty White was known for those zingers.
She was filthy.
Well,
And
we might end up with better movies as a result. I mean, back when the Hays Code was the thing, people were more focused on dialogue and creating these moments of romance that weren't uniquely physical.
Yeah.
We might actually get some better movies out of this. People remember It's a Wonderful Life and movies like that for being so great.
We'll see.
Just stream it now.
Let's move on. You might recall back in February, we told you about the new Apple Vision Pro. The $3,500 headset takes up most of your face, blending the display of your phone into the space around you. But if that's a little too extreme, maybe you want to try a new pair of Ray-Bans. Smart sunglasses fueled by AI They've been out for a while, but were named by the Wall Street Journal as the high-tech gadget worth buying. Apparently, they scan the world around you as you walk down the street, so you could say something like, "Hey, what building is that?" And your sunglasses will tell you. So, Troy, is this something you'd be interested in buying?
So as the guy with glasses, I know you're going to come to me first.
Right.
Well, you know what? I would buy it, so I like it, right? But I don't need it right now. Like, I'm trying to look out of these glasses right here. You know, the older you get, the harder it is to see. So to have an AI in the back of my ear telling me, hey, that's what this is, or watch out for that. Actually, you know what? Living in the city, if I had something that would say, hey, something is around the corner lurking. Remember that movie, True Lies, with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, yeah.
And he had
Jamie
like
Lee
those
Curtis.
glasses, and he went in the restroom with the cigarette thing that sort of sent an image so he saw who was behind him.
Yep.
That's what I need. So when this technology gets there, call me.
Yeah. This stuff like that, you know, where they have the Google glasses and things like that.
Yeah.
I love gadgets, but that to me is not something I'm interested in. And the Apple thing, $3,500.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And what are you walking around? I've not seen anybody walking around in the streets of D.C. wearing them. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm not going in the right places.
No, I like it because I think they're sleeker and they look a lot better than those Google goggles or whatever like that. Yeah. And tech is supposed to make our lives better. And if it does, help you be a spy, or if it helps you find out what building, that is like, oh, that's the White House. Yeah. People should know. But I do feel like
just
people
in case
probably,
they don't know.
I think tourists do come into D.C. and like, what building is that?
I've been stopped on the street where my office is down the street from the White House, and there will be tourists on 16th and K. Say, can you point me to the White House? And I go, you see that building right there?
Right there.
It is incredible how often that happens.
I like the people. I've seen people take pictures of a Capitol or something and say, the president's here, or so I mean, hey,
civics education in America is doing really great right now.
It's the worst ever. So here's the thing. I think it could be great for people who have disabilities, who may have vision issues, even gaming, right? We talk about just basically the gamification of just being able to look at buildings and tell what they are. But I'm just not ready for that right now. I'm still trying to get used to these.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else in my ear telling me what I'm looking at. But again, come on with those spy glasses. I can do that.
Go for it.
Moving on, one woman's TikTok going viral for her very simple method of identifying who is younger than 30 and who is older than 30. And while you at home take bets on who's who on this panel, take a look at this.
I became friends with a girl at the gym, and when I asked her how old she was, she asked me to guess, and I had thought 25, 26 this whole time, and then I looked her up and down and I said 32, and she said, yes, that's correct. How did you know that? Usually people guess a lot younger, and I said, because baby, you have ankle socks on. The ankle socks will always give you away. Next time you're at the gym, take a look around. Everybody over 30, ankle socks. Everybody under 30, crew socks.
So here's I'm going to go to you on this first, but I just want to point out here.
Check these out.
Oh, look at
There you
these
go.
out.
These
Look
are
at
these. And by the way, to the person when I wear the no-shows who email me and ask me for pictures, do not bother. You're not getting a response. It's happened.
Can I just just a little bit, because a little ashy there.
No, Jim, these ankles are
need
for
some
OnlyFans.
lotion on those
Take those ankles on
No, it's
OnlyFans.
no free feet. That's what it's about. Okay, the ankle socks versus the crew socks here. Is that a theory?
Well, I mean, I just have to acknowledge my socks right here have Mr. Rogers quotes on it. So the fact that that's happening about my socks while you guys are talking about that, I, as somebody who's recently broken 30, I don't necessarily buy it if you're right on that edge, because I grew up, I was a lacrosse player. I was wearing those mid calves, walking around in those. I don't think I've worn crew socks other than running, in a long time.
I like my ankle socks, and that's because I'm of a certain age, and you can't take that away from me. In fact, it was like some comments on this thread, on this discussion talking about this, and they were like, we worked really hard to get those ankle socks. And in fact, like, I remember being like a kid, and I would take, guys. Look, I would take the sock, and then you take it, and then you fold it back, and then you put it in the shoe, and look. Because my mom wouldn't buy me ankle socks.
Okay.
Right? You just fold it.
Why was your mom anti-ankle sock?
Ask my mom.
Look, as someone who's worn socks up to his knees and then also the socks that are no-shows, I like all types of socks, right? I love the fact that crew socks are coming back in style with the big red bow.
You do?
I'm sorry, it's not a bow, it's a ribbon. I don't know what socks those are. No, the big red ribbon and the yellow ribbon.
But party socks.
I think this woman, though, has a lot of time on her hands.
Yeah.
I need to just ask her that. Like, why are you paying attention to people in the gym and what type of socks they're wearing?
That's
crazy.
You're like, work out instead.
Yeah,
like, what
this
are you
is-
doing?
come
Every
on,
time
man.
people ask me for, gym advice and they feel like they're being watched or whatever, I'm like, I guarantee everybody's focused on their own workout. They're not watching you. And then ladies like this exist, and it
Wait,
completely
people ask you
blows up.
for advice in the gym?
Well, just on like working out or whatever.
No, they're hitting on you.
Oh,
No,
man. Gotta wear this in the gym. It's hard to deadlift with a wedding ring on.
Yeah, same.
The only reason that I wear the no shows is because when it gets hotter outside, it's actually I'm cooler when I have some ventilation going on down there.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
sweat
reason.
through your ankles.
I don't want my calves.
Dude, I am, dude.
We don't want
notorious
sweaty
ankle
calves.
sweats.
I don't understand
There's
these
a-
kids these days. We work so hard for these no-shows.
Come on.
These ankle socks. Come on.
All the way up.
All right.
All the way up. Come on.
Again, free food
All
content
the
for the
way
people
up.
at home here, and like it or not. That is our poll question tonight. Wearing ankle socks. We want to know what you think about this one. 69% of you like it. 31% of you don't. We hope 100% of you tune in or vote by scanning the QR code when we come back on Fox Lives. Like it or not. Look at that. All right, nerds. A short time from now in the galaxy we all live in, the date will be May the 4th, also known as Star Wars Day. That's that. Oh, I thought you were doing the Vulcan.
Oh, yeah, no, we're
no,
not
that's
doing
that's,
this.
that's
That's like a
that's
different
a
star.
cardinal
galactic sin.
That's a cardinal sin there.
Just outing yourself as a jock.
I have never seen any of the Star Wars movies.
Wow.
I'm putting it out there.
Okay.
Never.
Is
Yeah.
it just you're just sticking with it at this point?
I might as well just. I tried to go as long without seeing Titanic, and I was forced to watch Titanic at one point. But I mean, Star Wars. Are you into it? Do you celebrate it? Or?
Yeah, I'm not into it,
Yeah.
but I grew up on it, you know. And what I like about Star Wars, and even I know what you were doing with the Star Trek thing, the stars. If I can nerd out a little bit,
Sure.
What I like is that it shows us in the future. It shows this panel, for example. It looks like us in the future. And, well, there's some women we need, obviously, but other than that,
or else you're not gonna.
yeah, we're not going to be there, or not long. But yeah, I mean, so what I love about Star Wars and Star Trek is that, again, it's future looking, and I see ourselves there. And so, but I've never really been like a big convention guy, but I know a lot of people who are.
Sure.
So may the 4th be with them.
What I like about this, I will say, is, there was a whole SNL skit years ago, and again, we go to Star Trek, where William Shatner told all the Trekkies to get a life. But when you mentioned the conventions and things like we're seeing at Nats Park, they're doing a lot of celebrations this weekend for Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
I love that it brings people together, because in this climate, the fact that you can find things that people are on the same page with, that goes a long way.
Yeah, sure, but I'm going to be the kind of resident bully here. And,
Okay, please.
They're nerds. It's. I'm glad they have their thing. I'm not into it. But the sad thing is people are going to say just let people enjoy things or whatever, and I'm no.
Oh man.
It's tough for the shows are on Disney. It's movies for kids. I understand people have a lot of nostalgia for this kind of stuff. That's great. But when you're a grown man dressing up as Jedi, it's a little sad.
Just one. I'm going to defend him. It's just one day.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
I don't agree with Biff Tanner here, but I will say, no offense. No, I get what you're saying, but as a band nerd here and a lover of all, I mean, I'm not a Star Wars person. I do like Star Trek. I went to a Star Trek Discovery event this week. It was really cool. I'm not a Trekkie either, but I like what Jim said, that it brings people together. I do think it gets a little overboard with the cruises and with, I mean, I understand there's big commerce from all of this.
Yeah.
It's a boom to the economy with the cruises, the costumes and the festivals and everything else like that. The conventions, that's cool, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's
People have
definitely
their
you're seeing a lot of
people
people
have their fun.
find community in pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
I would argue there's probably better institutions to find community, but if it works for you, it works for you.
All right.
It's the future.
Yeah.
Move on, we will, to May the 5th.
Because this day I agree with.
Cinco de Mayo, a lot of events going around the area.
Yeah, woo!
Y'all in on this. You're on board. Chris, do you celebrate? Do you partake for Cinco de Mayo?
Well, last Cinco de Mayo, hilariously, my building is above the new Taqueria Habanero over in Edgewood. And for Cinco de Mayo, the President of the United States and Vice President came by and got tacos. So it's going to be really hard to live up to that. My son was 4 days old.
Wow.
And, I'm trying to, rush him down, and I wasn't able to get him to, have Biden kiss the baby or whatever.
Yeah.
But so this year is going to be kind of a disappointment, if the president doesn't show up to my apartment building.
But by the way, is there anything more Cinco de Mayo than showing up, just getting tacos on Cinco de Mayo? That's like Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
You want to really celebrate it, you do it, you drink your margaritas on.
Well, it's the best Trump
year-round.
tweet ever is where he's sitting in Trump Tower talking about how Trump Tower is the best taco bowls in America. With
Everybody
the double
knows.
thumbs in.
Yeah.
Do it.
No.
You can do the voice. I made fun of Jim's Trump impression a couple of weeks ago, and he sends me a voice recording roasting me in Trump's voice. so if you want to understand all of our friendships, I think a moment like that is great.
I love Cinco de Mayo. I like it. I like it a lot. I like all the margaritas, and I think Mexican Americans love it. I have a lot of friends that are.
Do they though?
That's like saying that's like saying. Well, my black friends say no. My Mexican American friends say they love it too. No. This is just a fun celebration.
And you can, and by the way, you could say that because Troy's black.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. He's on the panel.
Look, we all are happy to celebrate the Mexican National Army beating the French in 1862.
Of course.
Come on, that's why we're doing it.
That's why we're doing it.
It's like amateur day.
Remember the reason for the season, guys.
Is it wrong for? Oh no, you didn't do that. Is it wrong for me to actually like a mojito on Cinco de Mayo?
Oh no.
No,
Okay, that's
In
Cuban.
fact,
It has
you're
nothing to
free
do with Mexico.
drink whatever you want.
Okay. Well, I do that every day, but I'm just saying. Okay, so I really like. I celebrate Cinco de Mayo with our Mexican friends. There used to be a place in Adams Morgan called the Rumba Cafe. Ooh. And they're gone now. It's a really eclectic place. Those of you who have been here for a while, you know this spot. And they're gone, and that's where I had just the best margaritas and the best mojitos. So I miss that spot. But I'll be somewhere. I may even be over there at the Habanero spot.
Yeah, they've got it all set up. The streets blocked off.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna sleep at all this weekend.
But don't let us forget the Mexican army defeating the French.
Okay. We got to go. Okay. Coming up, there are places where people should expect some privacy, and then there are others where there's 0% of that happening. We'll explain after this. Welcome back. You might notice that we're all sitting in front of cameras right now. There you go. There's one here and one there, and yeah.
Everywhere.
So if somebody happened to be sitting directly behind us, you would think that person would reasonably assume that they too would be on TV.
Duh.
That was not the case, though, for Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy. During Monday's playoff game between the Celtics and Heat in Miami, Portnoy was seated directly behind the announcers for the TNT broadcast, and sitting next to him was his date, who's about half his age.
Oh.
He has since said he was trying to avoid the cameras during the game, turning down courtside seats for these ones, which are still courtside, just not directly courtside. Portnoy says he panicked and feels bad for the publicity his date's now getting, but Kenneth, it's kind of hard to have it both ways here.
Yeah, this is you big dummy sort of moment here. And in fact, I don't even know if I believe that he was like, oh, I moved to these seats thinking that no, as soon as you come down the stairs, we've all been to these games, and you see where the announcers are, the commentators, whatever, and if you sit there, and you see a camera, you know you're about to be on camera. Come on, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But what was the deal with him and the young lady? He said it was just a friend, or not really.
Said he just a friend. Said he.
I knew somebody was gonna.
Oh baby! Oh, I don't want to sing it just in case we got to pay for that.
Yeah.
You know what? So I actually feel bad for the girl because. She didn't ask.
Because she's with a dummy. Yeah.
All right, your words. But she didn't ask for all of that, right? Yeah. She just wanted to go to the game. Yeah. I've actually gone out with people and they assume we were dating, and they said they're not, and so I kind of believe them, right? Yeah. But I mean, I've gone out with people. They say, "Oh, you guys must be dating. Y'all going out." And usually, the girl or whoever it is more popular than me, And some like, they asked me, are you okay with like them thinking we're dating? I'm like, I'm fine with if you're okay with that. So, because the guys don't care, you know, but I do care about the girl because she might care. She doesn't want all that baggage.
Yeah,
that comes
definitely
with
agree with Kenneth too. He's a big dummy. I have to say, you know, as an Ohio State grad, that this is typical Michigan man behavior. This is dumb. It's deeply unfair to her, and ultimately, stuff like this just makes me so thankful I got married when I was 22 and just avoided all of this kind of like potential problem.
There's enough Michigan people here who might take umbrage with that, but we got to move on.
Fight me.
When we come back, we're going to take a stroll down memory lane.
Ooh.
And if you recognize the music, you know exactly what we mean. Back after this. We are finally learning what's going to be included in Super Nintendo World at Universal Orlando Resort, and they announced it like 8 years ago. It's going to open next year. There will be a Mario Kart themed ride, a minecart roller coaster, interactive challenges throughout the park, and food inspired by It's a me, a Mario. You live down in Orlando. Do we need this?
Yeah, we do. We need it bad. I love Nintendo as a 80s, 90s kid, whatever, millennial, elderly millennial. I loved it, but I can never beat it. I could never I was never successful at playing it. So if it's anything like this, if the park is anything like this game, I'm going to die within the first few seconds of walking through the gates. I will never power up. I won't save the princess.
Yeah.
By the way, that Luigi accent, I think Italian Americans are.
I can say that I'm part Italian. Why do you think there's still this nostalgia for it?
I mean, 90s kids, I was born in the 90s. We have this weird nostalgia for things that happened when we were 5 and 13. I don't know why it's those two ages, but it's emo's making a comeback and Nintendo's getting a lot of hype. I just have a lot of questions about the Mario-themed food. How many mushroom-flavored, are you eating turtles? It just seems like a really strange thing to be advertising.
So I'm excited for Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love that game.
My only question here is, why does everything have to be in Orlando?
That's a really good point.
It is the worst place to
I
go
live
to a
there.
theme park.
And I agree.
It's the worst place to
Hey,
go
just
to a theme
remember,
park.
we could have had Disney's America in Manassas.
That would have been great.
Yeah. I don't know. As somebody, I don't live and die by Nintendo. I liked having it. I like the experience, but I kind of like leaving that in the past, in my youth.
And I like Nintendo. I mean, I think all of us kind of agree on that, right? But why does it have to be in Orlando? That's my only
I'm waiting
issue.
for Atari World.
Put your ankle socks on, get down there to Orlando, and enjoy.
Let's ask the question. We asked what you think about wearing ankle socks. 66% of you like it, 34% of you don't. Many of you were turned off by the sight of Kenneth's ankles, but we we for
My
that.
mama said I got nice ankles.
She also, what did she say?
She texted and said those ankle socks didn't keep your legs warm. They're also same full price.
Chris
half the
Johnson,
price.
Troy Presser, gentlemen, thank you both. Great to have you both
Thanks
here
for
tonight.
having me.
Kenneth and I are back tonight at 10 to 11. Have a great night.
Yes.